Imagine, for a moment, that you are standing before a battered, centuries-old text, its letters inscribed in arcane symbols that radiate a silent promise of hidden power. With trembling hands you open it, expecting to find recipes for turning lead into gold or instructions for concocting magical elixirs. But as you delve deeper, you realize that these words are speaking not merely of physical transformations but of a far more mysterious alchemy, one that touches the core of who you are. The pages whisper that true alchemy surpasses the material world. Its essence lies in transmuting the base aspects of your being, fear, anger, sorrow, into the luminous gold of wisdom and compassion. However, as you keep reading anxiously, trying to gather all possible knowledge and information, you notice that this book starts dissolving into thin air, taking the form of a hummingbird. It chirps at you, revealing that all you were seeing and thinking was happening as an illusory interplay between nature and your mind. As you seem to lose hope, a single tear drops from your eye into your own heart, as the hummingbird is flying closely. There, the pain dissolves, just as the book did, and a new comprehension starts to take place inside your heart. You start to feel joy and a newfound energy that tells you to just go. And it is precisely in shamanic traditions, with their deep reverence for spirits and the living world, that this elusive path to real alchemy starts to emerge in all its raw and breathtaking glory. You don't know what true alchemy is, yet. But perhaps you are about to learn. In the Western mind, alchemy often conjures up the image of medieval magicians hidden away in dark labs, toiling over crucibles and burners, hoping to discover the philosopher's stone, the ultimate key to creating gold from mundane metals. Yet historians of esotericism reveal that behind those physical experiments lay allegories for spiritual transformation. The search for literal gold was but a reflection of an inner quest to elevate consciousness, refine the soul's imperfections, and forge an unbreakable connection with the divine. This alchemical principle appears across time and cultures, although the words used to describe it may differ. In Hermetic traditions, alchemy is a cosmic dance of sulfur, mercury, and salt. In some Eastern teachings, it's the merging of yin and yang, and in shamanism, it resonates through the interplay of elemental forces that reawaken the human spirit. Shamanic alchemy might not involve test tubes or complicated formulae, but it operates on a principle just as potent. In many indigenous cultures, the true lab is nature itself. The fires are the glowing embers in a ritual pit, the waters are rivers, rain, or sweat lodge steam, and the vessels are our bodies and hearts. Through visionary journeys, ceremonies, and sacred plants, shamans aim to dissolve the rigid boundaries that keep us in ordinary perception. What emerges is a vivid tapestry where personal wounds and ancestral imprints can be transmuted into healing. Rather than trying to transform one physical element into another, the shamanic alchemist focuses on bridging realms of existence, taking a base state of fragmentation and forging unity between the self, the unseen world, and all living things. Consider the raw material of your everyday life, the frustrations, disappointments, or old grudges that quietly corrode your spirit. A shaman might see these as lumps of emotional lead that weigh you down, blocking your natural radiance. In a ceremony, you might be guided to face these lumps head-on. This could involve a vision quest, a sweat lodge, or simply a deep, intentional communion with the spirits of earth and sky. At first, the experience may be excruciating. You confront the darkness that you've avoided or denied. Yet through ancient prayers, chanting, or rhythmic drumming, you invite a higher frequency to fuse with your inner chaos. This sparks an alchemical reaction that gradually changes your perspective from one of despair to one of possibility. Eventually, you return to daily life with an intangible gold shining from within, the intangible but unmistakable luminescence of self-awareness, acceptance, and expanded love. Even in Hermetic texts, the alchemical work is described as a series of stages, sometimes color-coded: nigrido, blackening; albedo, whitening; citrinitas, yellowing; and rubedo, reddening. Each step marks a profound shift in the substance's nature, and by extension, in the soul's journey. Shamanic practice often travels through a parallel process. You descend into the dark to meet your shadow. You cleanse yourself through acts of purification. You illuminate your consciousness with insight. And then you integrate that transformation into the reality you inhabit. A modern seeker might not recite Latin incantations by candlelight, but the progression feels eerily similar. We break down illusions, clarify our truth, and finally embody the new vibrational pattern that emerges when illusions fall away. To grasp the essence of shamanic alchemy, one must also explore the teachings around energy. Many spiritual traditions hold that everything is vibration, from the densest matter to the subtlest thought. Shamanic worldviews often emphasize that the mind, body, and spirit interweave in a field of energy informed by the cosmos. When your emotional baggage sits unaddressed, it thickens in your energetic body like sludge. Through ritual, trance states, or even breathwork, a shamanic alchemist seeks to heat this energetic dross and refine it into a purer state. This is done not by banishing negativity, but by transforming it, shifting old energies into new frequencies, like clay being molded into pottery. What was once toxic or stagnant becomes fertile ground for personal evolution. And yet, there's another surprising element to real alchemy: humility. In many ancient stories, overzealous alchemists were their own downfall. If pride or greed drove them, any gold produced turned to ashes or invited ruin. The principle is equally true in shamanic practice. The deeper you journey, the more you realize that surrender is crucial to true transformation. No matter how skilled or experienced you become, you can't force spiritual forces to bend to your will. Instead, you must approach them with reverence, acknowledging the vast intelligence of the earth, the spirits, and the cosmic dance around you. By releasing control and stepping into humility, you open yourself to the miracle that is genuine metamorphosis, the kind that words cannot fully capture. One of the most extraordinary aspects of shamanic alchemy is its communal dimension. While much focus in Western esoteric tradition revolves around the lone alchemist in a secret laboratory, shamanic cultures often emphasize healing not just for the individual but for the entire community. A ceremony might be performed for collective prosperity or to address communal grief. In these cases, the shaman acts as a catalyst, but the real alchemical fire is generated by shared intention, drumming, and chanting that unify the participants' energies. The gold produced is a communal sense of renewal, a revitalized bond that transcends individual ego. This has powerful implications for modern life, reminding us that personal transformation can ripple outwards, igniting alchemical changes in families, workplaces, and societies. We might also look to the natural elements for clues. Ancient alchemists viewed earth, water, air, and fire as symbolic building blocks. Shamanic traditions often do the same. The difference is in how these elements are engaged. Earth might represent stability and grounding, water fluidity and emotion, air clarity and communication, and fire passion and transmutation. A shamanic practitioner might physically invoke these elements in a ceremonial circle, calling on their energies to balance the four directions within the self. Earth can help anchor you when life feels chaotic. Water can dissolve emotional blockages. Air can clear mental fog. Fire can purify old karmic residues. When these elements align within you, your internal landscape becomes fertile for genuine alchemical change. Consider the possibility that you are your own crucible. Just as old-world alchemists used heat to transform matter, you can employ the heat of life's challenges as fuel for spiritual refinement.
A shamanic teacher might argue that every hardship, whether heartbreak, loss, or betrayal, presents an opportunity for transmutation. Of course, there's no denying the pain. Real alchemy doesn't trivialize suffering, but it does invite you to see a hidden potential within the darkest hours. Your heartbreak can become the impetus to open your heart wider. Your losses can become the catalyst for shedding false identities. Your betrayals can highlight the illusions that held you captive, sparking your quest for truth. By refusing to see difficulties as mere accidents or punishments, you fan the alchemical flames that can burn away superficial layers, revealing the gold of your essential nature. There's also a deep link between spiritual alchemy and the archetype of the wounded healer, prominent in shamanic lore. Often, those called to the path of the shaman undergo near-fatal illnesses or crippling losses early in life. These ordeals become the base metal, raw material for transformation. In the initiatory process, the old self effectively dies, and a new self emerges capable of bridging worlds. Whether you call yourself a shaman or not, the principle is universal. Your darkest nights can initiate you into a deeper awareness of your power and purpose. You transmute your suffering into wisdom, compassion, and resilience that can then serve not only you but the people around you. This is an alchemical process at its core, transforming leaden sorrow into golden empathy. It's vital to understand that none of this suggests quick fixes or guaranteed miracles. Alchemy, whether in the old manuscripts or in the sweat lodges, demands patience, perseverance, and faith. The ego begs for shortcuts, for immediate relief, but true transformation rarely obeys human timetables. Shamanic wisdom teaches that the spirit world moves in cycles aligned with nature's rhythms. Just as seeds need seasons to germinate, your internal metamorphosis may need time to integrate. You might pass through phases of confusion, doubt, and even regression, and yet each setback can be viewed as part of the great work, forging deeper layers of authenticity within. In this sense, real alchemy demands that you confront aspects of yourself you might prefer to hide, old resentments, vulnerabilities, or deep-seated fears. Shamanic ceremonies create a space where such confrontations become possible, where the boundaries of ordinary consciousness relax enough for you to peer into your internal labyrinth. The revelations can be as overwhelming as they are liberating. You may find that the gold you've been chasing exists in a place you never suspected, beneath the layers of identity you clung to for safety. Letting go of that false security can feel terrifying, but it's precisely what clears the way for genuine transformation. If there is a single principle that underpins all forms of alchemy, it is that everything is connected. Every part of the cosmos reflects every other part. Shamanic teachings amplify this idea by suggesting that the spirits of animals, plants, and ancestors are intertwined with your own consciousness. Your internal changes reverberate through the energetic web that holds life together. When you transmute the negative patterns within, you not only free yourself, but also lighten the collective vibration. The gold you produce, be it love, wisdom, or compassion, becomes an offering to all. This shift in perspective can rekindle awe for the intricate living tapestry we inhabit and remind you that your personal alchemical work has cosmic significance. And so, when we say, you don't know what true alchemy is, yet, we hint at the transformational journey you may not have realized is already unfolding within you. Perhaps you thought alchemy was only about metals or potions, or that it belonged to a distant past. But in truth, it is as immediate as your next breath, as intimate as the secrets you carry in your heart. Shamanic perspectives urge you to see beyond the surface illusions, to step into the cosmic laboratory that is your own life. You are both the alchemist and the raw material. Each step you take, each wound you heal, each pattern you break, is a delicate experiment in forging spiritual gold. Ultimately, true alchemy reveals that the path to gold is inward. The physical transformations, the hermetic symbols, the elaborate ceremonies. These are pointers, not destinations. What matters is the fire you kindle in your soul, the willingness to let it burn away your limitations, the courage to face your darkest corners. By entering this dance of purification and expansion, you become a living testament to the power of spiritual metamorphosis. This, in essence, is the secret once guarded behind cryptic texts and veiled rituals. Let the shamanic approach guide you beyond the superficial illusions of power and allow your own radiant nature, the gold of your being, to shine forth.